Hey guys, thanks for joining in. This is Fingerson, school counselor here at Taft. I'm glad to be with you guys today. We're having some technical difficulties, so we're going to just try and run through the computer screen instead of doing what we had with the voiceover. And just a big shout to Mikey Zacharias for really working hard to help me get this stuff really done right for you guys so you have the best info. So this is the course description guide, otherwise known as the course catalog. I want to go through some of the really important things that you need to know about this. The first thing I'll say is that we do have some paper copies that you can use in the counseling center or in the library. They can't be taken from there because we're talking like 20 pages right now. We will definitely get some to classrooms as well, but we were able to post this online on our school website. And we will show you that this afternoon where to go. It's super easy to get. You can pull it up on your phone and browse all of the information that will help you forecast next week. So here we go. We're going to jump in. This is a good table of contents. We'll show you sort of where to jump in. Some important information in here that you're really going to need to take the time to look at and read as we get you these in your hands or when you're looking online. All of this information on the first couple of pages really just talks about your rights as a student and the rules and expectations that we have as a school in order to function properly and provide just a good learning environment for you guys. So make sure you're up on this stuff so that way in the fall when you're not sure what's going on, you can sort of refer back to this. A quick word on scheduling appointments for counseling. I just want to say that I think there's some confusion. Students are thinking they always have to schedule an appointment. The only reason I'm asking for scheduling appointments is, that would basically be to just talk about academic schedule change type stuff, long-term planning for academics, all the other things, checking in with me. People are having a rough day. They just want to talk about some stuff. All of the other counseling duties, you just need to sort of stop in. And the other part of that is when you do schedule an appointment, make sure you're showing up, because I've seen a lot of kids schedule but then never show up. So make sure you come to those if you do schedule it. Some more good information here. Talks about incompletes and add drop policy. Super important to read that. This page is really important. I get a lot of questions about it. It's the graduation requirements for the different types of diplomas. 99% of our population is going to worry about the standard or honors diploma, and it just details all of the aspects that you would need to cover in order to achieve that, if that's what you're shooting for. And you're definitely going to want to get in on that as soon as possible. So that'll help you out. Then we talk about essential skills really briefly here, the different tests that you can take, like the ACT, SAT, Smarter Balance, work samples, all that kind of stuff that will help you achieve those graduation requirements. Talk a little bit about dual credit and AP courses, what they really mean. There's a little bit on here that talks about early college and what that is about. Those are some college classes offered through Oregon Coast Community College, pretty much free for the most part. And this page is really important too. This is the 4-year planner. So every year you'll look at the subject, which class you would be taking, the math, science, social studies, all of that good stuff is there, what year you should be taking it. This is just another planning tool that you and your family can look at to make the best choices. Add drop course requests. This is what it'll look like in the fall. Make sure you familiarize yourself with that, and when we come back to school next September, which is coming up quick, this is what we'll be using to add and drop classes, and the process we'll be using. So made some improvements this year, and we'll just keep trucking along. So when we get into the actual descriptions, the first 9 pages are talking about what's going on in the school. Please don't glance over it. You really need to read that and be aware, because we're going to hold you accountable to that information. The last 15 pages are our courses. I'm not going to go over everything with you, but I am, however, going to talk about what this stuff means. So what is a pathway? Because you'll see these pictures before every subject area, and you need to follow this and you need to know what it means. So a pathway is basically the different routes that you can take to get from your freshman year with 0 credits in the subject to your senior year and the required credits you need for graduation. So there's different routes through each subject area and sort of different rules that apply based on what the department has decided is best for students. So if you simply follow the arrows, you'll be able to make your way down through graduation. And there's different ways to do that depending on what you're comfortable with or where you think that you would do best. Your math teachers will be able to help you with some of that stuff. But for the purposes of forecasting, you're going to want to move on in the math department if you've passed both semesters, or if you think you will pass both semesters, then you will move on to the next step. If you have failed the first semester, or you don't, for whatever reason early on, you're not sure if you're going to be able to make it through, I would strongly suggest you get with your teacher and work that out. But if for some reason you don't, then you're going to need to go through the same class next year or talk to your teacher about what options are available to you. Because we're definitely not putting students into another math class when they haven't passed the entire year of the one that they're in. So make sure you read the information before you get into things. And then I want to just talk about, what does all this mean? I'm going to zoom in here. So right here we have the content area that we're in, the subject. Here we have the class, the grade level of the students that are mostly in that. I would say 99% of kids will follow these grades that are in a class, but we do have some students who are a little bit farther or a little bit, either ahead or behind, and so there will be a tiny bit of fluctuation. But you should assume that only these grades are allowed to take that class for the purposes of forecasting. And then a new thing that you need to familiarize yourself with, and also is something that is talked about in college, are prerequisites. Prerequisites are things that need to be satisfied before you can enroll in a class. So when you enroll in a college course, sometimes you'll need to meet basic reading and writing skills or math skills. And those will be listed in the catalog when you register for college classes. And high schools also do that. Most high schools that I've ever been to have some sort of course catalog, which is why I'm excited that we get one now, so that we can sort of be legit and sort of be a leader in our school district for this type of stuff. So prerequisites need to be followed. If you do forecast for a class and you don't meet the prerequisites, you'll be dropped from the class. And you're going to have to be just sort of put somewhere, and you might not want to be there. So it's better to take your time, read through this, make sure you meet the prerequisites as you're forecasting, and that way you have a really accurate view of what's going on. So length, is it 2 semesters? Is it 1? And then the credit offered for the entire time that the course is taken. The other thing that I would say is that when you look at these initials here, in every subject area, so this is math, you will see the 2-letter abbreviation for the content here. So MA is on your transcript for math, and this is what you would earn in math. If you've already taken the class for some reason, then you earn elective the second time around. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And I'll just browse through a couple other things. Here is communication. We talk a little bit about the name changes of English 9, English 10, 11, and 12, and why they're called this now in the slideshow, so I hope you listened and paid attention to that. And then we go into communication, and you're just simply going to sit down with this either digitally or in the library or counseling center, or you can request that we print you one and we'll get you one as soon as possible. You're going to sit down with this, and you're going to scroll through it. And as you select your classes, you're just going to make sure that you meet all these requirements, that you're in the right grade, and that you understand what you're getting yourself into. Here's the social studies pathway. Here is the science pathway. All freshmen are going to be placed in either biology or chemistry this year. So chemistry and biology will have a good mix of students, 9 through 11 now, which will be good, I believe, and your instructors believe. So make sure that you're looking at this before you just wing it and put something on your forecasting sheet that shouldn't be there. Okay? And, it also goes through the other programs that we have and all the classes that we're offering. This will be a living document that will get updated every year. If you guys have any questions about this, I will be in your classes next week and we'll go over this again thoroughly. You can ask all your questions then. We'll have opportunity. Right now is just telling you sort of what the process is. It's really new. It's a really good thing. The next thing you'll watch is how to log on and forecast online simply. So have a great day. Thanks again, Mikey, and we'll see you soon.